Something I've not ever done, but there's something called FaceTime.
You've never FaceTimed?
I just find it a little scary.
FaceTiming?
It scares me. I know. I did it I did it once recently with a friend of mine who called me by FaceTime, and all of a sudden it was on there, and I was like, ah!
So this is Open Book with Jenna Hager, and I am here with the lovely Jamie Lee Curtis, who is an author several times over.
Like double digits over.
Double
14,
digits.
I think.
14 times over.
14 times over.
Dozens over.
A girl who never thought she'd write a book in her entire life.
Why is that? Why did you think
I
you would
barely got out of grade school, let alone high school. I seriously was just, academics did not work for me. And so the last thing I thought I would ever do would be anything within an academic world, given that books are basically an academic, you have to know how to read.
Endeavor,
and blah, blah, blah.
yeah. But as a child, do you remember what the feeling was of reading, of loving to read?
There was a book called, there still is a book called Go Dog Go. And the thing I remember about the book is it's a book about opposites. Big dog, little dog, in, out, up, down, which I totally understand as an early reader concept. And then in the middle of the book, this dog looks at another dog and says, hello, do you like my hat? And the dog says, no, I do not like that hat. Goodbye. For some reason, my sense of humor was born with that bizarre non sequitur that means that has nothing to do with opposites. It's, do you like my hat? That should be, in fact, if I write a book, which I never will, I will title it, Do You Like My Hat?
Why will you never write a book? Because you write a lot for kids.
Like,
a memoir.
I mean like a
memoir,
like
tell-all.
A tell-all book.
Why would you never?
I will tell nothing. I'm going to write a tell-nothing book, and it's going to be called Do You Like My Hat?
And it has nothing of your life in it.
And it has nothing of my life, and it's just funny stories that I find funny.
That's actually appropriate.
Yes, but I'm still never going to write it.
Okay.
Because then I have to promote it.
What did you read to your kids?
There was a book when my daughter Annie was born. It was called Annie Banani. She's an adopted daughter, and at that final legal moment, somebody gave me this book at a party. We had a little gathering of people, and it's a book called Annie Banani, and it's written by a woman named Leah Kamaiko, and it was illustrated by the woman who I ended up making 14 books with. Unbeknownst to me at the time, her name is Laura Cornell.
Serendipitously?
I just loved that book. I read that book every single day to my daughter. I'm not going to take up our valuable time, but I could recite that book in its entirety. So that was Annie's book. And my son Tom loved The Owl and the Pussycat.
I love The Owl and the Pussycat.
And when I would travel in my job as a public person and I would have to travel, I read him that every single night of his life when he was a child. And if I was traveling, I would call him and read it to him. And so again, The Owl and the Pussycat, which is just this beautiful story. Of course, it's a poem. So those two popped in my mind.
When you think back to those, how that felt to get on the phone or cuddle your children close to you, does it make you nostalgic?
Of course. Yeah, I will tell you, I never felt good being away, and I always had that feeling like somehow that was supposed to be a balm or some sort of calming effect for them, that I wasn't there. But the truth is I wasn't there, and I think about our men and women in service who, as part of their job, go and serve our country and leave their children for months and months, years at a time, and don't have the privilege of picking up the phone. Nowadays, something I've not ever done, but there's something called FaceTime.
You've never FaceTimed?
I just find it a little scary.
FaceTiming?
It scares me. I know. I did it I did it once recently with a friend of mine who called me by FaceTime, and all of a sudden it was on there, and I was like, ah! And anyway, but I understand the great benefit of FaceTime. But when I think about people who can't connect up daily with their children, it softens my feelings that somehow I was doing something bad.
You obviously have been in some of the best mysteries and horror films.
I've done
You've done a few.
I've done a few.
You might have done a few.
Yes.
Do you read a mystery? Do you love a mystery?
No, I'm not a fan of the genre. I'm not a fan of those movies. I'm very sensitive. I scare I have a startle reflex that has made me a lot of money, but I really actually don't enjoy it. And so it's an irony that I would be known for that genre. I'm actually really quiet. I'm a reader.
Yeah. So what are some of your favorite books?
Oh, okay. My top 3 are a book called Stoner by John Williams, Angle of Repose by Wallace Stegner, and East of Eden by John Steinbeck.
So what's your favorite genre? What do you love?
I love a good story. I love to be moved. I love beautiful description. I like to think. So when I was 13 years old, my dad brought us over to Europe where he was filming. We were not close, and I didn't really know him growing up, but I went and spent a summer with Dad. There was a book on the shelf by a historical novelist, James Clavell. And I picked up this paperback book, and it was called King Rat. And it's about a prisoner of war camp and a guy who games the system in this prisoner of war camp. And I devoured it at 13 years old. And it really ignited my love of historical fiction.
Okay, really quickly, hardcover or on a tablet?
Oh, hardcover.
Where's your favorite place to read?
There's a sort of couch in my kitchen.
Is there one book that changed your life?
East of Eden.
Thank you so much.
I could talk to you.
I know. I want to just talk about books all day long.
I want to just be on. I just want to do the Jamie. Maybe we'll do the Jamie and Jenna show.
Yeah.